little known fact, you can actually get comments in the comment section before you actually go live. And I have my first one. Mr. Lance Chaffin says, "Hey Thrash, hey Lance, welcome to the show. Happy Mother's Day, by the way." And yes, we are live a couple minutes early, and we'll see who else join us this, as you can see, bright sunny Sunday that we had for Mother's Day. Poor Mrs. Thrash, she had to work, but she's home now and having a little late dinner that I made for her to come home to. She has very graciously honored you all by allowing me to do this live chat tonight. She didn't want to break a tradition. Tracy Roth Miners says, "Hi, Robert Tracy. Hello, happy Mother's Day to you." That was a very, very, very touching post you made to your dear mother, by the way. Was that taken in Europe? That looks like a European style, canal river style. So let me know, by the way. And was she a model, by the way? She was a beautiful, beautiful woman. Oh, and Lance Javen says, "Can't wait till Tug next Sunday." Yes, I believe it's at 1 my time. Might be a little different for yours. Where we should be talking about dystopian entertainments. Lisa Fields, happy Mother's Day, Lisa. I'm so glad you could make it tonight, particularly because I wanted to wish you happy Mother's Day. Welcome to the party. Sean Innes says hello. And hello to you too, Mr. Sean Innes. John Doe, Neutron John says hello, welcome. As always, so nice to see you. Superplex is here. Hello to you, Superplex. A lot of people having fellowship saying hello. Lisa Field says thank you. The Life Inside Ending says hi. Steve, I caught your show in replay today. I hope you guys all got to catch it last night. I am so sorry. I was, of course, at work, so I couldn't have made it, but I actually didn't even see your message until this morning when I was checking my messages. I got home late last night, and we were destroyed at the restaurant. Apparently, everyone took their mother out to eat last night, so I kind of crashed when I got home. But, Steve, thank you so much for the invite. I will definitely give you a rain check. I love the last live show I did of yours, and look forward to doing more. Lance Javen says, "Happy Mother's Day to all the moms in the chat." A very touching tribute. BK on the air is here and with us. My Retropalooza buddy is here, and he says, "Howdy, big guy." Mr. Barry, howdy to you as well, by the way. Please say to Mrs. BK, happy Mother's Day on all our behalfs. Oh, Tracy says Amsterdam to be exact. Oh, excellent. It was Europe. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it was beautiful. That sort of, I always loved how they sort of dropped the roads down to the water line. It was just a beautiful, beautiful little cityscape there over the canals. Very, very nice. Oh, for those of you who aren't on Facebook, Tracy posted this beautiful photo of her mother back in the day. And rest in peace, by the way. Was she Roth or Myers? I meant to ask, but I thought that'd be tacky. But in any event, please let me know in the comments below. Let's see. I just jumped a little, so I'm gonna have to try to catch up. A lot of people saying hello to one another, having fellowship. That's half the fun. Kenneth Wilkinson is here. He says, "Good evening, Bob." Mr. Wilkinson, so glad you could make it. Keithy says, "Hello, I'm here." Why, hello to you and to the hippopotamus, of course. Never want to forget your friend, the hippo. John Doe says, "Thrash, I have a question. If this is a retro type channel, where's the sea monkeys?" There have actually been, if you read my wretched recaps, or really watch them, you don't have to read along if you don't want to. In the wretched recaps, I could state my professional reputation that there have been ads for sea monkeys in some of those vintage comics. If not, I will make it a point. I will make it a point of finding a sea monkeys ad and referencing it. Lance Javen says RNG had a blackout during the watch party Saturday. Those are so monumentally inconvenient. Commiserations. Remember, Tug had one that lasted for days. I jumped again, so I'm just going to try to catch up here. Steve says Keith E. Hi, Keith. Excellent. Lance Javen says hi to Keith as well. It's like the Waltons, only in reverse. Zublik says, "Hello, T-Pawns." And again, another hello to you as well, my friend. And I think Roth. Well, rest in peace, Mrs. Roth. And I think we're caught up. Oh, Trace Myers says Myers is my married name. That's what I thought, but I was afraid I'd get it wrong. You really, when you get making a post on a memorial site, you really should make sure you have the person's name right, or do what I do and just sidestep the whole situation. Keith E says hello, life verified, and everyone else. There's too many to type. Sorry. Have a good night. We can just do it a little across the board. Hello to all. Um, Tracy Rothmeyer says I hyphenated my last name. Yes, so did Mrs. Pons, by the way, and it's caused so many headaches because for some reason every like bank we've dealt with over the years has had a tough time comprehending the practice. They just don't grok it. So at times she's had to proven that she is her. I believe her. The banks don't. Like I'm gonna lie on her behalf. Oh, and Lance Javen got 50 DVDs for $25 in the mail. Sounds like a good find. I'm sure a lot of them are very, very good. John Doe says, so what is the subject tonight? Sea monkey related? Only in the sense that sea monkeys can be moms. Remember, there was always that queen sea monkey in the ads. Yes, Lance Javen said favorite TV moms. I thought we could spotlight TV moms, sitcoms, that type of thing. But again, I'm open to suggestions. I will tell you. Zublik says, flying sea monkeys, John? They had flying sea monkeys? Wouldn't those be air monkeys? I'm confused. Sound cool, though. Mike Silva is here. He says, hi, guys, watching Netflix with my family member, the Mother movie. Well, Mike, I want to thank you for joining us. Oh, and Mike Touche, by the way, Mike has been coming up. He usually comes up with the best comments to make on some of my posts, and he's been playing a game the last couple of days. He takes lyrics from some of my favorite old movie soundtracks, and I've been guessing the movie. So far, he's done Night of the Comet and Return of the Living Dead. And Mike, keep it up, by the way, because that I might actually incorporate that game into my show down the road. Denny State says greetings from South Carolina, and greetings to you. Shadows of Grief says Sea Monkey Monkey 2. Well played. Well played. I love it. I love it. Liz Javen says, Tracy, the site is called Mercury App. Oh, and Steve says, I dated Barbara Billingsley in the late 1980s. You did not. Bobby Renee is here. It says, hi, host with the most. Bobby Renee, so glad you could make it. Lisa Field says, I'm watching the Mother movie too. That seems to be the trend. Oh, Danny has started providing us with links. Thank you so much. In this case, to The Life and Sad Ending. Keith E says, verified. That's impressive. Steve says, not really. LOL. Tracy Rothmeyer says, what are sea monkeys for real? I have always been curious. It's my understanding they're a species of brine shrimp, a very, very small one. That's why you always had to mix salt into the water when you created them. By the way, but yeah, they're basically they're krill, for want of a better word. Shadows of Grief said, "I'd rather have dated Barbara Billingsley in the '40s. Probably the better play." The House of Alex is here. Says, "Hey everyone, hey there, House of Alex." He just put out a series. Talk about your post-apocalyptic entertainment. He covered, I believe he got them all, the Four Horsemen and the Four Horses. So well played, well played. I don't think I've responded to all of them yet, but because that's 8. But I certainly intend to get there eventually. John Doe says, no X-ray specs. I always wondered if those worked, which is odd because I knew deep down they didn't. Keith E says, I had that thing with Emma Peel, but not really also. You want to hear something funny about Emma Peel? Okay. I, of course, thought she was magnificent. And yes, Steve, I believe that was her last appearance in Game of Thrones, and she was still beautiful and charming in that, even though she played kind of a badass. But I, of course, thought she was magnificent. My father, before I was born, when he watched the Avengers, he had a crush on her. So Emma Peel is sort of a generational crush object. Interestingly enough, um, skipping down. And so I guess at one point I asked out Alyssa Milano, but there's some gray area there as well. John Doe says sea monkeys are brine shrimp hybrid. Thank you, John. I was close. I hybrid and by shrimp. Oh, that's how they became birds and could fly because they were hybrids with birds. I'm just going off the rails here. Shadow of Grease says, thanks, Danny. Victim of copyright and being locked out, I had to do a mass deletion of my old account. There's been a lot of that going around, hasn't there? And by the way, thank you, Dan, for giving a link to our Shadow Lord. They've really been cracking down on people, and really for no reason. Anyway, Shadow of Grief, so glad you could join us, and thank you, Danny, for sending a link to Shadow of Grief. Danny says, I just bought the DVD set of the Avengers because of Emma Peel. Ken says, I blame you. And Ken Wilkinson also says, Happy Mother's Day. Sean Innes says, did you ever see Dinah Rigg on Extras where Daniel Radcliffe flips a... Ew! I have not, but ew. Lance Javen says, I have all the Friday the 13th on DVD. Great collection. Trey Throffmeyer says, Emma Peel was a badass. She certainly was. Keithy says, verified if you see Lance, I'm guessing Chafin, on this, he would also make a great moderator for you. Lance is actually an excellent moderator, so I will second that emotion. And let's see. The Nostalgic Pod Blast says, hi there. Nostalgic Pod Blast, welcome to my special edition Mother's Day extravaganza celebrating all things motherly. Hi there, back to you, and welcome to the party. Wow, we're already at 15. When we get to about 20 people, I will start the trivia game. The trivia game, of course, being all based on celebrity moms. Shannon says, Thrash, seriously, you should find that episode of Extras way too funny. You know what? I think I might. But it's still an ew, but I might. John Doe says, the best mother on TV, Marge Simpson. I actually considered that myself, actually. I think you actually may be onto something. Zubook says, hello, nostalgic. Lance Javen says, Lance, you've already a moderator on the side ending. Oh, I'm guessing that was sad ending. That was quick. Nostalgic says, well, thank you, sir. Well, you're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. Steve says, D, June Lockhart. Now, that is style. You're going to start answering the question before you know what the question is, or even what the options are. You're just going to take a stab at it. Oddly, you'll probably do quite well. Bobby says, host, thank God for your mom. Wonderful woman, by the way. I was actually just chatting with her. She... Lance, you're going to kick out of this. She needed me to explain the difference between dystopian and post-apocalyptic to her. She was watching an earlier show. We were discussing Children of Men. Apparently, it's one of her favorite books. Never knew that about my mom. Well, I mean, I guess she's a big fan of P.D. James. I believe James is the author. But yeah, she read Children of Men and she loved it. I'm like, how could I have not known that? So we were talking about that. So she might just join Tug's show next week. But thank you. That was very, very kind of you to say. Thank you. Danny has given us another link. Thank you to the Nostalgic Podcast. This channel looks awesome. I will check it out when I'm not busy with my own live chat, but I will definitely check out your channel, the Nostalgic Pod Blast. I keep saying cast. Pod Blast. I will check that out, as I will check out um, the nostalgia. Oh, Shannon says D Wallace for the win. Yeah, she was also in Slapshot. We were actually, my mother reminded me about how she was not happy with my father when he took me to see that when I was 9. Mike Silva says, Spider, what is this? Midnight Whip, Bowling League, Taffy. Who are you? The bride of Dracula, Spider. Ooh, jump back. Prom queen on the loose, or is it high school? Hookers, Uncle Impy. Such a sour face. The only Spider I can think of off the top of my head is Spider from Return of the Living Dead, and that doesn't sound like any of his dialogue. But thank you, Mike. We'll see if anyone can come up with it before me. Have a stab at it. Oh, and Lynn says 20 more DVDs coming tomorrow. Yay. Um, Lisa Field says it's a book. A Children Man. Yes, it was a book by again P.D. James. Before it was a movie adaptation, and she has admitted actually, I don't know how many people have seen it. Remember, I'm always begging you people to go back and look at some of my past works. I do it's one of my first projects. I did a review of an old Brian Aldiss movie called Greybeard. It's essentially the same storyline, and she admitted it. She admitted that she used Brian Aldiss's Greybeard as a template. And Danny Staten has given us a link. Thank you. Oh, Emily Miller's here. Says, "Hey y'all," and I'm lagging. I'm sorry you're lagging. Don't worry about being late. Happy Mother's Day, Emily, and I hope the lagging stops while we're on the subject. If anyone else is experiencing lagging, poor sound, or poor video, let me know in the comments below. Sean Innes says Melanie Dillon was the one in Slapshot. She's the one that Paul Newman has a brief affair with. You'll know the scene. But yeah, it's Melanie Dillon. And I only found that out recently. Lynn Stevens says, Zuper making money again during to build my collection. Oh, Steve says, Emily Miller has arrived. The Shadows, I'm just going to call you Shadows, or Shadow Lord, maybe, for the purposes of this chat. I got 10 DVDs for $5, but they were all Pauly Shore movies. Oh, commiserations. I mentioned that in my top 10 list of superfluous top 10 lists. The top 10 list of Pauly Shore films. Pass. Shannon says D. Wallace was in 10. Really? Wow, how could I have not remembered that? But thank you. That's a great tidbit. Emily Miller says, Happy Mother's Day, ladies. Keith says, hello, Emily. And I repeat myself, no, hi, dear Emily. Liz James says, Happy Mother's Day, Emily. And I was caught up and then I jumped. If I miss anyone, please bear wit. John Doe says, I'm really out of it, feeling sick. Hopefully it's not serious, but I'll try to catch you next time. John, if you got to bail, more than understand. Thank you so much for joining us. Get some rest. Hope you feel better. Dave's still sick, so we're really worried about him too. I'm worried, as I'm worried for you. Keep me posted. Send me an email. Let me know how you're feeling. Emily Miller says, I think the lagging was on my end. Good to know, though I'm still sorry for you. Oh, Trailer Myra says, Happy Mom's Day, Em. Your kids are adorable. Thank you. I meant to mention that to you. I saw them on Facebook, by the way. They're beautiful young ladies, and we all know where they get that beauty from, don't we? Zuplik says, hope you get better, John. Daryl Johnson is in the house. Says, Bob, other brother Daryl, how you doing, brah? Lance Chavin says, sorry, John, get well soon. A lot of people saying, feel better soon. Daryl Johnson says, okay, let's get that like button smashed. Gary Hansen is here. I'm Captain Potato Head, and I have a potato for a head. That pretty much covers it. Gary, so glad you could make it. And I believe I'm almost caught up. I'm going to skip through all the fellowship and Shadow says, of all of the Golden Girls were mothers, do they count? Let's wait for the contest. But it's an excellent question. But I don't want to give the game away. Jenny Skaten says, "Hey, Polly Shore movie where they're in the dome is funny." I don't think I got through that one. I must confess, I am not a fan of Pauly Shore, which is a pity because his mom Caroline is absolutely amazing and one of the greatest innovators of American comedy. So, apologies to people who like Pauly Shore. Tracy Romero says, "Anyone here from Georgia ears lately?" I got a message from her like a month or two ago saying that she was very, very, very busy, but would try to make it to more. But that's all I know. She's had her hands full, as have so many of us. Tom the Hungry Jerk says, "I'm listening." Hey Tom, so glad you could make it. By the way, welcome to the party. Zublik says, "Polly Shore textbook example of why nepotism is considered a vice." Daryl Lance Chapin says 6 like and 18 here. Come on, folks. I know, really. Oh, actually, we're up to 10. We're getting better. Gary Hansen says the night the lights went out in Georgia, one of my favorite movies with Kristen McNichol. I haven't seen that movie in probably 40 years. In fact, all I can remember from the movie is the song. And at the end, doesn't the cop desert her? Oh, spoiler alert. Sorry. Um, uh, let's just see what else we got going on here. Keithy says 20 people here, and I can't keep up with the chat. Oh, no worries, Keith. I'll keep you abreast of all the comments. I said keep. Les Javen says, "Where has Mrs. Ayers been?" Um, apparently where she always was, just not able to make it to us. Oh, the nostalgic pod blast said Mitzi, as in play Misty for me. Clint Eastwood's directorial debut. Zublick says most TV mom ever. Most TV mom ever. Samantha Stevens, most beautiful TV mom ever. Whitney Blake. Gary Hansen says Ken, what's happening? LOL. Old cliche. Podblast says hello. Tracy Roth Myers. Zero John says, let's get to 18 likes. Ellen Jamin says, remember Christy in the pirate movie? We were going to talk about the pirate movie like forever ago. I really should do that. I really should. Oh, by the way, great news, guys. I'm starting that computer class this coming Tuesday, by the way. So hopefully in a couple of weeks, I'll have mastered this monstrosity and I can do a lot of the things that I want to do with the computer and make some really polished videos. And perhaps then we shall revisit the matter of the pirate movie because we really should do it. Steve says, F. Katie Seagal. What do you mean, F. Katie Seagal? She's a wonderful woman. Let's see. Lisa Field says, Lance, I love that movie. Keithy says, Baked Bean mentioned, yet he is now. Actually, I was having an amazing chat with Baked Bean the other day, where we were talking about Graybeard. I don't know if he's actually managed to find it yet. Probably hasn't. It's been a busy week, but he says he loved the concept of Graybeard and was definitely going to check it out. So Graybeard, at the very least, Graybeard, Baked Bean, check out my Graybeard post. It explains it in a little better detail, as does all you guys should do. Oh, and while you're there, like and comment, and I'm guessing you've already subscribed. But Duplex says, best TV mom ever, Samantha Stevens, the prettiest mom ever. Didn't we just go over that? Oh, you corrected the typo. I'm with you. Pod Blast says Mitzi is Pauly Shore's mom. You were speaking about, unless I'm in error. I thought his mom was Carolyn from Carolyn's Comedy Club. I am so embarrassed. All these years, I thought Carolyn from Carolyn's Comedy Club was Pauly Shore's mom. But Pod Blast says Mitzi, as in Pauly Shore's mom. So perhaps I've been in error. But either way, so Pauly Shore's mom is either Carolyn or Mitzi. And I'm going to go on a limb and say Pod Blast, you're probably right. Oh, and Danny's given us another link. Thank you very much. Zublik says, so we have Misty to blame. Mitzi. Why can't I say Misty? Mitzi. Mitzi. Shadow says, Whitney Blake was beautiful, though I don't know why in the last show, Hazel, she seemed to be married to a 55-year-old. Huh. It's been years since I've seen Hazel. I will tell you, Hazel retired here to Cape Cod, by the way. She was living here when she died. I want to say in Harwich or Chatham, maybe, but it was somewhere here on Cape Cod. Tom Livery. Hey, Tom, what's going on, bro? Glad you can make it. Says, hi, Thrash. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Thank you so much. Podbless says, Whitney Blake is Meredith Baxter Burney's mom. That's a great piece of trivia. Thank you. Thank you. Zublik says, it is due to the male chauvinist pig attitude of Hollywood shadows. You see that in a lot of shows. I'm guessing you would, yes. Steve says the nostalgic pod blast. Hey, watched part of your videos. Different for sure. I'm going to definitely hop on those again when I'm not doing my own show. But it sounds fascinating. Let's just see. Emily says that makes sense. Suplex. It would, wouldn't it? Keithy says I thought Carolyn was Polly's mother also. I think I've heard that. Maybe one's the aunt, one's the mother, or maybe he has two moms. And Danny has gone on to do another link to my classic horror movie stuff. Thank you. Pablo says it's Missy Shore for sure. Sure for sure. I will take your word for it. Mike Silva says, do you want a party? It's party time. Got the parties, party time. Do you want a party? It's party time. We got the party, it's party time. That's gotta be the refrain from Return of the Living Dead song. I'll let you guess which one. Zublik says there's a lots of shows where an ugly man is married to a gorgeous woman. Oh, that was the connection. They were talking about that recently, about how in recent years that's happened. Like, oh, I don't know, King of Queens. Sorry, Kevin James, but yeah, it's like how come these men of averageness end up marrying these hotties in TV realms? Elizabeth says his mom was Mitzi. She owned the Comedy Store. That's what it was. I think somehow I got the two uh, comedy club owners mixed up. So thank you, Lisa, and Podblast, and everyone. Emily says, "I want the mic is smoking. I want the mic is smoking. Okay, is my mic smoking? Okay." I was gonna say because I don't smoke in the house, by the way. Shadow says Bonnie Franklin played a great mother on One Day at a Time. She certainly did. She certainly did. Liz Draven says Mrs. Evans on Good Times. Steve says not Jackie Gleason. He was keeping it real in the honeymooners. He certainly was. Zublik says, truthfully, Dick York was no hunk. Yeah, you're right, now that you mention it. Tom Member says, how about Patricia Heaton from Everybody Loves Raymond? Another good example, yes. Oh, Wajamin is here, says hello, everyone. Sorry, I am late. Wajamin, you are always on time because I am just about to start the trivia game. I'm going to wait until 8 o'clock high, and then we shall do that. And it says neither with Dick Sargent. Yeah, I know. Lightning struck twice on that show, huh? Liz James says Mrs. Garrett on Facts of Life. Yeah, house mother, but okay, we'll count it. We'll count it. Keithy says Nostalgia has another new subscriber. And you will have one more when I get off my channel. When I get off my show tonight, you will also have another subscriber. Sublik says, really, Life? Audrey Meadows and Sheila Maurice were beautiful. I'm sorry, Sheila McRae were beautiful. Yes, they certainly were. They certainly were. Oh, Emily says Mrs. Garrett had a son. I did not know that. I did not know that. Must have been referenced in. I wasn't a huge fan of the show. I must confess. So I must have somehow missed that. So let's see. What a lot of people like waving and saying hi. Oh, Gary Carpenter. Gary Carpenter goes, I'm here. So you're here and square. There and square. Here and near. The point is made. Welcome to the show. And let's just see who else we get. A lot of people saying hi to Gary, as they should. Tubman says, is that true? Mrs. Garrett had a son? Yeah, I didn't know that either, but I'll take your word for it. Gary Carpenter says, yeah, I'm square. And Liz Javen also just subbed to Nostalgic. And Tracy Ross Myers. See, we call this the Thrash Pondo effect. When you join my channel to say hi and partake in the wisdom that I bestow, my people in my comment section will also subscribe to you as well. By the way, we're a big family. Did you guys see? By the way, I'm almost up to 250, which is more impressive if you knew how much I had before. Steve says Liz was married to William Asher in real life. He was not handsome. Everyone's really critical to TV dads today, aren't they? Nostalgic Pub Bless says, thanks, Lance Chafin will return the favor. That's very, very kind of you. And let's just see. So, as it is virtually 8 o'clock. Oh, one more from Suplex. Jane Wyatt was very pretty too. Much more attractive than Robert Young. Yeah, I'll buy that. Oh, and Nostalgia Podblast is saying that to Tracy as well. So here's the situation. Today's trivia game is going to be based on celebrity moms. We'll go with that. And there's a variety of questions, by the way. I didn't want to do just like one, like whose mom was this or who played the mom in that. I kind of ran the gambit. So I'm going to wait for everyone to prepare themselves emotionally, and then we will start the game. It's 8 o'clock high. I'm now going to start the game. And as always, I'm going to read the questions in no particular order. Number 10. Lenny Kravitz's mom was a fixture on what Neil Simon sitcom? A. The Jeffersons. B. Sanford and Son. C. Good Times. Or D. Mary Hartman. I shall repeat. Lenny Kravitz's mom was a fixture on what Neil Simon sitcom? A. The Jeffersons. B. Sanford and Son. C. Good Times. Or D. Mary Hartman. Les Javen said D. You went with the least likely choice, huh? Getting you guys another sec. It looks like everyone's got it except for Lance through curveball. Yes, it was A. The Jeffersons. Roxy Roker was Lenny Kravitz's mom. Question 9. Teresa Merritt, Mama on That's My Mama, was later repaired with which co-star? Was it A. Clifton Curtis, B. Earl, played by Theodore White, C. Junior, played by Ted Lang, or D. Laura, played by Helen Martin? Oh, hi, Mrs. Thrash. Everyone say Happy Mother's Day to Mrs. Thrash. She's like, jazz hands. Or D. Laura, Helen Martin. I shall repeat the question. Teresa Merritt, Mama, That's My Mama, was later repaired on another TV show with which of her co-stars? Clifton, B. Earl, C. Junior, or D. Laura? Oh, and everyone's saying Happy Mother's Day to Mrs. Thrash. Ooh, this one, would it helped if I actually gave the show? I was afraid this would give it away. She later appeared on an episode of The Love Boat. Oh no, Gary Cameron says I'm buffering. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to buffer. Superblick says that's cheating. Okay, so everyone go with your first choice, A. Yeah, yeah, Shadow goes, yeah, that gave it away. Yes, so oh, Truth of Mars says happy Mom's Day, Mrs. Ponce. Thank you, that's very, very kind of you. And yes, now yeah. C, Junior played by Ted Lang. It's funny just how many stars later ended up on the Love Boat. If you want to do like 6 degrees of separation, just keep the Love Boat in there. In fact, I did this thing for a while where because Pat McCormick was on General Hospital, you can actually pair Pat McCormick with like thousands of Hollywood stars just by thanks to the Love Boat. But anyway, getting back to others are saying no buffering, thank goodness. Oh yeah, Shadow brings up a good point. Must have been hard being the only bartender in a ship of thousands. A lot of people mention that. A lot of people mention that. It's like, and the funny thing is, always time to chat with people. It would be like, trust me, I've been in a bar with 6 people, not a cruise liner of 6,000. And trust me, you jump out of your tree. But anyway, number 8, and I might have to contest this with somebody, but I'm just going to read it. Number 8, which Golden Girls cast member was not a mother in real life? Was it A, Rue McClanahan, B, B. Arthur, C, Estelle Getty, or D, Betty White? I shall repeat the question. Which Golden Girls cast member was not a mother in real life? A, Rue McClanahan, B, B. Arthur, C, Estelle Getty, or D, Betty White? Daryl Johnson, damn right, Skippy. Well, the answers are kind of all over the place on this one. And well, I'm just going to read. If you said D, you got it correct. Betty White was not a mother in real life. All the others had at least one child. Oh, this was one of my favorite ones. Any Warner Brothers cartoon fans out there? In the Daffy Duck cartoon, deduce, you say, the Shropshire Slashers' mum sold what commodity? Was it A, tea, B, crumpets, C, flowers, or D, cockles and mussels? A lot of people going, what? Okay, the Daffy Duck cartoon, it's called Deduce, you say. It's a spoof on Sherlock Holmes, where Porky Pig plays Watson's character. You guys never saw this one? Well, if you have, he's trying to sweat a confession out of the Shropshire slasher, an escaped killer. And in one scene, the Shropshire slasher's mother comes into the pub selling a commodity. And is it A, tea, B, crumpets, C, flowers, or D, cockles and mussels? Alive, alive, oh. Oh, is Mike leaving? Oh, a lot of people saying goodbye to Mike. Well, Mike, if you have to take off, thanks for joining us. And I'm just looking to see where Mike said goodnight. Mike, if you're not leaving us, disregard. But in any case, for those of you who said flowers, yeah. Oh, Terrell Eugene Bellinger is here. He says D, cockles and mussels. No, she comes in. She's a flower girl. She comes in trying to sell posies, and Daffy Duck goes, peddling dandelions with a license, eh? I'm gonna run you in. And it turns out she's the Shropshire Slasher's mother. And he does unspeakable things to Daffy. And I watched way too many cartoons when I was a kid. Okay. Number 6, and then we'll get scores. Number 6. On what TV franchise did Eleanor Donahue not play a mother in? Is it A, Father Knows Best, B, The Odd Couple, C, Get a Life, or D, Beans Baxter? I shall repeat. On what TV franchise did Eleanor Donahue never play a mother? On A, Father Knows Best, B, The Odd Couple, C, Get a Life, and D, Beans Baxter. And I deliberately knew I was going to get a lot of people with this. Oh, Blood Bless says, love the show Get a Life. Yeah, me too. She played his mom in that, which just gave the game away. Ooh, Steve with a curveball, the Andrew Griffith Show. Emma says, wasn't she the teen daughter? Okay, I said in what franchise, not necessarily the show. It was a trick question. In a later reunion episode, she is a mother. So she did, in fact, play a mother in the Father Knows Best franchise. The answer was, of course, The Odd Couple. And while you're burning me in effigy, I will let you people give scores. And Leonard Chipman says, Gary Carpenter, you're okay? I should hope so. Shadow of Grief got 60%. So I'm guessing that would be 3 out of 5. That's pretty good. The Nostalgic Bloodbless says, thanks, Danny Staten, for posting the link. Yes, thank you for the links as always. Tom Lemery got 2 out of 4. Oh, did I have 1, 2, 3? Hang on. That was 5 questions, wasn't there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because I got 5 left. Ken Wilkinson says we got 6 because he went out of 6. Lisa Fields got 4 out of 5. Tom, I'm gonna call it 3 out of 5 with you then instead of 2 out of 4. Sean Innes got 3 for 5. Steve got 2 right so far. Maybe I'm gonna give it to you. Gary Carpenter says it was Home for Christmas. And it was Home for Christmas to you too. Emily got 2 of 5. Tracy Myers got 3 of 5. Daryl Johnson says, I'm still taking Father Knows Best as right. What say you, Gary? Want to fight? Okay, all right. I will make a deal. Because most people thought I was referring to the show itself and not a later reunion episode, as it were. If you said Father Knows Best and you really feel it important to you, I will accept A as well. Because again, it was a trick question. And I always hated trick questions, unless I'm the one asking them. So, yes. Gary Cameron says, it is a long day. I had a nap earlier. What you mean says, I think 3 out of 5. We'll give it to you. Gary Carpenter, it's going to be 4 out of 5. So we'll give it to you. Zuplik says, none of those situation comedies were written by Neil Simon. Produced. Jeffersons were produced by Neil Simon. Actually, I believe they were all produced by Neil Simon. But, Teb says 1 out of 5. I missed the other questions because I came in late to the party. No worries. No worries. You always make up for it later on down the road. Oh, Gary Gibber says Father Knows Best Home for Christmas. Now I'm with you. Now I'm with you. Oh, very good. Very good. Thank you. Tom Member says, let's get ready to rumble. Keithy says 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5. We'll call it 4 out of 5. And Emily Miller, I guess 3 out of 5. Now, Gary Carpenter says you want to wrestle Buster. Oh my gosh, Superplex. Yes, you are right. I've been saying Neil Simon. I meant I'm so sorry. I've been saying Neil Simon. I meant Norman Lear. I had a wire crossed in my head. You ever do that? Where you're saying a name, but you're actually thinking a totally different person? Yes, I did mean Norman Lear. And thank you for your correction. If that influenced your decision making in answering the question, I apologize. Tom Memory says, I know great minds think alike, Lance. The Nostalgic Pod blesses. I hope I just subscribed to the correct Lance Chafin. Steve says, this quiz makes me feel small and unimportant. With 216,000 followers, you feel unimportant? Gee, I wish I had your lack of importance. And Zibble says, happens to me all the time. My old age makes me go whack. Oh, John Collins is here. He says, I'm back, people. John, so glad you could make it. We're in the middle of the trivia game, but you can always play the second half. Gary Cameron says, I think my wife is crossed as well. We'll tell her Happy Mother's Day. Anyway, last half of the quiz, trivia quiz. Question 5. What famous sci-fi icon became the mother of a future Hollywood scream queen? Was it A, June Lockhart, B, Nichelle Nichols, C, Carrie Fisher, or D, Sigourney Weaver? I shall repeat. What famous sci-fi icon became the mother of a future Hollywood scream queen? A, June Lockhart, B, Nichelle Nichols, C, Carrie Fisher, or D, Sigourney Weaver? And I'll have a hint if you want a hint. But few people pouring answers in. All over the place, too. We got an A, B, C, A, D, C. And God bless is not sure about this question. Take a stab at it. Charles Grease says Sigourney Weaver isn't really a scream queen. Oh, let me rephrase. It was a famous sci-fi icon who had a daughter who became a scream queen. So let me repeat the question. What famous sci-fi icon later became the mother of a future Hollywood scream queen? My speech impediment's kicking in. She's a contemporary scream queen. And Gary Gummer says June Lockhart was in She-Wolf of London. Shadow Grease says, then I'm 3 for 6. Anyway, Carrie Fisher. She's the mother of Billy Lord, who was in American Horror Story, among others. In fact, I believe she's in one of the incarnations of Star Wars now, too, making it a generational show. Podblast says Anne Lockhart is June Lockhart's daughter. I remember Anne Lockhart. I can't think of anything she was in. You know what? If she was in a horror movie, give yourself credit. But yeah, tell me. Yes, I was thinking of Carrie Fisher. Levin says, if you say so. And Pablo says, I learned tonight. It was Carrie. And Ziplik says, Battlestar Galactica. That's what she was on. Well, if she's screaming on Battlestar Galactica, then I'll give it to you. I remember that now. Oh my! I'd completely forgotten that. Okay, thank you. They were both also. I remember she was on. They were both on Hollywood Squares at one point too. By the way, did I ever tell? Oh, actually, it'll come up later. I almost gave the game away. Okay, question 4. What famous Hollywood comics mom was herself a stand-up comedian? Was it A, Jerry Seinfeld, B, Paul Reiser, C, Woody Harrelson, or D, Ben Stiller? I shall repeat. What famous Hollywood comics mother was herself also a stand-up comedian? Was it A, Jerry Seinfeld, B, Paul Reiser, C, Woody Harrelson, or D, Ben Stiller? And everyone's getting this one. Pablo says Anne Lockhart guest starred on The Fall Guy with Lee Majors a couple of times. Wow. I'm not familiar with those episodes. I have to rewatch them. I love The Fall Guy. I bet you can guess why. But yes, D, Ben Stiller. Mother, of course, being I always get her name wrong. Mira, yes, Mira Mirren on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Question 3. And if you've been paying attention to my earlier post, you'll remember this one. What famous Hollywood mom once gave me a pep talk about talking to celebrities? Was it A, Marion Ross, B, June Lockhart, C, Florence Henderson, or D, Linda Blair? I shall repeat. What famous Hollywood mom once gave me a pep talk about talking to celebrities? Was it A, Marion Ross, B, June Lockhart, C, Florence Henderson, or D, Linda Blair? Everyone's saying D. You people don't pay attention. It was B, June Lockhart. How many times have I told you guys the story? I was like 10 or 11, and I was flying down to see my father, and I was in Hyannis Airport, and who's in the waiting room getting a flight to one of the islands? I can't remember which. It was over 40 years ago. But June Lockhart is there. She's just sitting there reading a book, waiting for her flight. And as you know, what my first exposure to science fiction was Lost in Space. So I'm like dying to talk to her. I asked my mom to get her my autograph, get an autograph for me. And my mom's like, no, go ask her. I can't. Go ask her. I can't. Go ask her. And for like 40 minutes, we're like arguing. And I finally get the nerve to ask June Lockhart for an autograph. And she's like, oh, she's a very, very sweet lady. Oh, I sure. And I'd given her a postcard that I happen to have on me, and she's signing it. And my mother goes, it took me 40 minutes to convince him to ask you, and I said that you would be fine with it. And she finished writing, and she goes, you don't have to be afraid to ask celebrities for an autograph. And she gave me this whole speech about how it means a lot to them, and their fans matter. And she just gave me this little pep talk about not to be afraid to go up and talk to celebrities, and they're basically people like everyone else. And Daryl John says, "Oh, this story, yes." So, yes, it was June Lockhart, and I still to this day, I have that autograph in my garage, which I also refer to as the what? And that is not a question, so don't give yourself credit if you get it. Anyway, question 2. And if you guys have been on Facebook lately, you probably know the answer to this one. Cloris Leachman played Bill Mooney's mom in how many episodes of The Twilight Zone? A2, B3, C5, or D6? Let me repeat. Cloris Leachman played Bill Mooney's mom in how many episodes of The Twilight Zone? A2, B3, C5, or D6? Daryl John says you don't have it framed. It's a postcard. I thought about it, but no. And a lot of people. I feel so bad. Okay, actually, I did say episodes, didn't I? Okay, episodes of The Twilight Zone, the TV show, 2. The correct answer I gave is 3 because she was also in what was it? Which also counts. Anyway, she reprised the role again. She actually played his mom 5 times altogether in different TV shows, which I found amazing. But you know what? I'll accept A or B because she reprised the role, and I saw it when I was writing the answer down, and now I can't quite remember it. But I believe it was 2 in the original and 1 in the follow-up series. But if you're gonna, since you guys thought I meant the traditional series, we'll go with 2. Daryl Jones says, "Dude, get it framed." So what if it's a postcard? I suppose you're right. Steve says, "I need a buzzer to use on Thrash." Oh, Lisa Field says, "I gotta go have company. Good night, all." Good night, Lisa. Take care. And the number one question is ubiquitous TV staple Maya Rudolph's mother was a one-hit wonder performer. Let me repeat that question because I think I missed a word in there. Oh, ubiquitous TV staple Maya Rudolph's mother was what one-hit wonder performer? A, Minnie Riperton, B, Peggy Lipton, C, Mary Wilson, or D, Bev Bivens? I shall repeat. Ubiquitous TV staple Maya Rudolph's mother was what one-hit wonder performer? A. Minnie Riperton. B. Peggy Lipton. C. Mary Wilson. Or D. Bev Bivens. And everyone's getting this one. And yes, Teb, you phrased it best. The late, great Minnie Riperton. Yes, Minnie Riperton was Mia Rudolph's mother. Daryl Johnson said D. Bev Bivens. No, but I have a Bev Bivens story here. Long story short, before I was born, so we know how far back we're going, this would have been midsummer of '67. My mother and father went to a local club in the city they were living in to see We5, who, of course, is their big hit, was You're Always on My Mind. Now, they got there early to get a good table. It was also air conditioned. It was like the hottest summer in recorded history. My mother's always hated heat, and she was out to here pregnant. So they're enjoying the AC, waiting for the band to set up. And the lead guitarist keeps looking over at my mom, like, because my mom was like literally out to here, pregnant, out to here, pregnant. And he keeps like looking over, like afraid that she's going to go into labor. But anyway, long story short, while they were doing You Were Always on My Mind later in their set, my mother had to use the ladies' room. Pregnant women, as of course, as you know, have to go to the ladies' room a lot. And she went to stand up, and my father, being a gentleman, hopped out of his chair to help her up. And I guess the lead guitarist, who had been looking over periodically throughout the show, his like jaw hit the floor, like he's like, no, no. And when he realized she was just going to the bathroom, he caught himself and finished the song. But yes, Bev Bivens was almost present at my birth, you might say. Oh, Big Guys 45's like, I'm here. Thank you for joining us, Big Guys 45. Getting dinner now. Late supper. Actually, you're in a different time zone, so it's probably not a late supper for you. So anyway, final scores for all of you who have scores. And a lot of people saying hi to Big Guys. And let's see. While we wait for scores, where's the time? Is it 8:30 now? Well, almost 8:30. I think I'm gonna wrap this one up a little bit early. A lot of people are having to like call it early night, as it is. It is Mother's Day after all. I'm sure that's why a lot of the people weren't able to make it tonight, celebrating with their moms or spouses or for themselves. It is their day if they're mothers. And of course, Mrs. Thrash just got home from work, and I should see her for a while before we get too far along. So I think I'm going to wrap it up at 8:30 tonight. But I want to thank all you guys for showing up tonight, by the way, and happy Mother's to all of you. Happy Mother's Day to all it applies. To all of you who aren't mothers, happy Mother's Day to all your moms, spouses, uh, daughters of childbearing years across the board. I want to thank you guys all for showing up tonight. Oh, we do have some scores, Sean, and this is 7 out of 10. Some were for some guessing. Tom Lemley says, I really don't know. There is any way to get numeric under instead of top 10. Um, good point. But I always put them in numeric order, but I'll try to think of something more practical. Zublik says, who cooked dinner, T-Pons? I did. I had it ready for her when she get home from work, like a good spouse. Gary Carpenter's 8 of 10. Oh, Trey Those Myers made salmon. Ooh, the North Alabama cryptid Mr. and Mrs. NAC are here. They said, hey, Thrash Bondo and everyone in the chat. And hello to you, by the way. It's been a while. How you been? Happy Mother's Day, by the way. I'm so glad you could make it. Sadly, we're just about to wrap things up, but thank you so much for joining us as it is. And again, happy Mother's Day. Lance Javen says, night, y'all. Benjamin says, hey, North. A lot of people saying hey to North. Yes, North, thank you so much for dropping by tonight. Gary Carpenter says, good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. Keithy is 5 for 10. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, we just finished the trivia game, by the way. The Nostalgic Pod Blast says, happy Mother's Day. This is a fun channel. I'm so glad you had fun. I will be doing next Sunday. I will be doing another live chat. Don't know what the topic is as yet, but I do these Sunday chats every Sunday. And Nostalgic Pod Blast says, nice to meet you, Thrash, and everyone here in the chat. Nice to meet you as well. Please come back and see us again next Wednesday. Definitely. And I should have some more content out very, very, very soon. What you mean says, hey Thrash, just got over 1,000 subscribers yesterday. Congratulations. Send some my way. Emily says, my son-in-law made me lunch for my daughter, his mom, me, and my daughter's stepmom, and my mother. That was very, very nice of him. Daryl Jones says, Bob is getting there, Wesh. Slow but sure. Slow but sure. And let's see. Shannon says, Wesh, congratulations. That is a very nice number. It certainly is. It certainly is. And we're all very proud of you. And again, if those of you who haven't experienced Wajibeen's channel, you got to check it out. He comes up with some of the best dad jokes, and it's great stuff. It's great stuff. I think it's a riot, by the way. Oh, I have dad jokes on my channel too, by the way. So hopefully you'll like some of mine as well. And let's see what else we got going on here. Ziploc says, "Let it be a why we hate Polly Shore themed teapots." Okay, that's a little harsh. That's a little harsh. I don't know if I can bring myself to be that mean, but we could be we could do something on oh, I don't know, Hollywood people that you love to hate. You know, something like that. In any event, I want to thank you guys for all joining us tonight. By the way, Shadow of Groove said, "I'm sorry, I brought up Polly Shore." No, 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 no. Don't be sorry. You brought up Polly Shore. No, everything we say, Shadow, everything we say is all in good fun here. So, someday I'll tell you the story about how the one time Tug mentioned yogurt, the unapologetic geek mentioned yogurt, and it's become a running joke. People just love to make fun of him and yogurt. Daryl John says, hate Polly Shore just because he's Polly Shore. You see, this is what we're talking about, Daryl. No, it's all good and it's all in fun, as the saying goes. But anyway, thank you guys all for showing up. For those of you who are new tonight, hopefully we'll see you next Sunday. Please check out some of my content on my channel and feel free to like and make comments. And until then, I look forward to seeing you next week. Be good, be safe, be careful. And I want to thank you all for your support. Peace.